Hello, everybody. This is CurtisDoesADig, and welcome back to another Curtis Talks. Today is May 28th, 2024. It is 1:06 p.m. Pacific Time, and I'm here on the Hitchhiker's SMP. I've been debating back and forth what I want to talk about for this Curtis Talks. I've wanted to talk a little bit about mediation. I've wanted to talk about my life. I've wanted to talk a lot more about charity. There are a number of things that I would have liked to talk about today, but none so important as the one I have for you today. And this is something that I struggle with. Some of you may have already heard this story. It's not mine, it's a story from Bill Gates. And it's about a question he was asked when he was the richest man in the world. Somebody had asked him, "Is there anyone richer than you in the world?" And Bill replied, "Yes, there is a person who is richer than me. It was when I wasn't rich or famous. I was at the New York airport and I saw a newspaper vendor. I wanted to buy one newspaper and I realized I didn't have the change. So I left the idea of buying and returned it to the vendor. I told him I didn't have the change for it." This is kind of paraphrased a little bit, just a heads up. It's not going to be the exact quote. The vendor said, "I'm giving you this for free." On the insistence, I took the newspaper. Coincidentally, after 2 or 3 months, I landed on the same airport, and again, I was short of change to buy a newspaper. The vendor offered me the newspaper again. I refused and said I can't take it as I don't have the change today, too. He said, "You can take it. I'm sharing this from my profit. I won't be at a loss." After 19 years, I became famous and known by people. Suddenly, I remembered the vendor. I began searching for him. After 1.5 months, I found him. I asked him, "Do you know me?" He said, "Yes, you're Bill Gates." I asked him again, "Do you remember once you gave me a free newspaper?" The vendor said, "Yes, I remember I gave you the newspapers twice." I said, "I want to repay that help you offered me that time. Whatever you want in life, tell me and I shall fulfill it." He said, "Sir, don't you think by doing so you won't be able to match my help?" I asked, "Why?" He said, "I helped you when I was a poor newspaper vendor, but you are trying to help me now when you have become the richest man in the world. How can your help match mine?" That day I realized the newspaper vendor was richer than I was, because he didn't wait to become rich to help someone. People need to understand that the truly rich are those who possess a rich heart rather than lots of money. Kindness makes you the most beautiful person in the world, no matter what you look like. So the reason I bring this up is I find myself often struggling with the idea that, oh man, if I had all this money, I could help so many people. I think to myself, oh man, if I only had this much money, I could help this person with their rent. I could help this person with their medical expenses. I could help this person achieve their dreams, right? But the moral of that story that Bill Gates shared is that it doesn't matter how much money you have. What can you do today? It's literally that simple. What can you do today? Here, can you blow up? I don't want to have to dig any more than I need to. What can you do today? What can you give today to help make the world nicer, better? How do you show that you have a rich heart, that you want to help people? You don't need money to help people. That's not to say that money certainly isn't a key to helping people. Money certainly does go a long way in helping change somebody's circumstances. But there's so much else that you can be doing to help the people around you. For example, here in my city, we have a food ministry at the church I go to, and it started off incredibly small, just a few canned goods here and there that were getting donated by the people of the church. And the church congregation could come pick and choose what they wanted from the shelves. But then it grew. It started off as the goodness of some of the church congregation's hearts to give away food that they don't need to people that might need it, it ended up becoming something even bigger. Ooh, creepy. It ended up becoming something bigger. Now, the church gives away food every single day. Tons of food every single day. And every other Wednesday, they do another food outreach where they have people drive up in their vehicles and they put pounds and pounds and pounds of food in their trunks. So it started off as something really small, just the act of giving a few canned goods away ended up blossoming into something incredible for the city. So those people, they gave food that they weren't going to eat anyway, stuff that they could spare, right? The newspaper vendor gave the newspaper that he could spare. It came out of his profits, but it didn't put him under. But what if you don't have newspapers to give? Or what if you don't have canned goods to give out or food to give out? One of the biggest things you could actually give is your time. They say time is money, right? So technically, giving up your time to help people would be essentially equivalent of you giving your money to help people, right? I know it doesn't feel the same. There's definitely a difference in how that feels. But can you spare some time to help out at a homeless shelter? Or can you spend time at a food drive? Can you help your neighbor pull in the garbage cans? Can you help your niece or nephew with their homework? What are things you can do? Uh-oh. What are things you can do to help? Don't focus on what you need to be able to help. Like, oh man, I need money to be able to help. Don't focus on that. What can you do at this moment? Is there anything that you have that you can give? Is it your intelligence on the math homework your nephew is struggling with? Is it your time to help out at a charity? If you're a streamer, for example, could you do a fundraising stream, right? While you yourself might not have the money to do it, your stream could help pool in funds to help people. You yourself don't need much to be able to help somebody. You could be rich in heart rather than rich in pocket. My desire out of everything in the entire world is to help as many people as I can before I die. That is my goal. That is what I live for, to help as many people as I can before I die. And that comes in a variety of forms. I do enjoy helping people deal with things they're experiencing. If they're going through a hard time, I like to sit down and talk with them and be there for them. That's one of the main things that I do with my friends, is just be there for them and talk to them, right? And just that alone, that requires no money from me. I don't need to be rich to do that. I don't need to be wealthy to do that. I don't need a fancy car or a fancy house to do that. All I need to do is be there. And sometimes that's all it takes. What are you able to give? Are you able to give your friendship? Are you able to give your time? Are you able to give your energy? When you think about the people who have really changed your life, are they rich? Are they incredibly wealthy? Or was it their heart that helped you? I doubt it was their wallets. I'm sure sometimes, yeah, their wallets did help you. Like, my grandpa's helped me out with finances a few times, right? But that's not what I remember him for. I don't remember him for his wallet and, like, the finances he's helped me with. Or, like, the money he has given me to help me through things. No, I remember him because of the other things he's done for me. Like, he was one of my baseball coaches when I was in elementary school. He showed me how to fix my car when my car broke down. You know, there's so many things that he did that weren't financial. And while, yes, he did help me financially, it was his heart that I remember. His heart that makes me believe him to be a good person. Think back about the times people have helped you, the people in your life that you believe changed your life in some way. I doubt it was their finances that you're going to remember most of the time. So what can you do to put good out in the world? How can you be rich without money? What do you have to give?